If you describe your life in Aikido in just one word, what would that be?
In one word, it's difficult, but be understanding. I understand many things, like everybody, but especially about to stay alive in the way to move the body. I try to give intelligence to my body, to the skin. I said very, very often this sentence: your body, your skin is much more intelligent as your brain. Your skin has a memory that your brain will never get. So when you touch somebody, when you get burned, or when you get touched by somebody, you remember the things perhaps which came 10 years ago. So your skin is very intelligent. And you have with Aikido the way to work about that, to give intelligence, memory to your skin. Well, Aikido is just something for the stupid guy. I said that very often, for the stupid guy. You have to move with your body. You have not to think. If he does that, I will do that. No. The body does. He does right or wrong. I don't care. It's not a problem. After, you have a brain to remember how I was. How was my body, the left side, the right side, forward, backward. No, for me, that's intelligence, understand.
So why did you start giving a summer course, and why did you choose Meze for the location?
I chose Meze 24 years ago, just by hazard. So a guy from this region said to me, Philippe, there is a huge, big dojo in this city, and nobody uses it. You want to use it? I said, why not? I went to the city hall to speak to the mayor, and he said, why not? Nobody uses this dojo. Do it. Now many teachers want to be here, but I was the first, and I still go on that place, because everybody knows that, it's close to the sea. It's not the real sea, it's a small etang, but for the people I think it's not so bad. And what I have to say something else, the students changed completely. Before it was another group. But the people who were here 20 years ago are not here now. The young like you, like the Irish guys before, they were more Germans or some Italian. Now we change completely the student. And that's the life. Aikido is just steps. You are not here forever. So the students are also has the right to be outside. I am not jealous when the students go to see another teachers. It's their right. They must be free. When they come back, I try to see if they change something, if I did not see them for a long time, if the body changed. I try to remember. That's the way I keep going on in Aikido, to remember, to feel the new thing. For example, you, Karol, and you, Declan, I did not see you very often, 3-4 times a year. But any time I try to remember how you were before, and what changed. So I don't say, oh, you do a better Shionage. No, it's not in Shionage, but it's the way you move, your body more open, more relaxed. Well, that's the good thing. And Meze, everybody knows me. Everybody knows me. So everybody, all the students who come here, know exactly what I ask, what I want. So perhaps one day I will do Meze without a word, because everybody knows exactly what I do. When I do a technique, everybody understood. In their own word. For example, you, Declan, you don't understand exactly the same word as Karol, because he's from Poland, you are Irish, another guy from France, from Italy. The words are not exactly the same. So the body will follow what your brain understands, what your skin understands. When you are Polish, perhaps you have another way to say hello, as in Ireland. In Aikido, we try to do all the same techniques, but it's impossible. In the contact, you say, with him it's perfect, with him it's not so good. But it's Shionage, it's always the same technique. Well, that for that, it's very interesting, made for that.
So why did you switch from 1 week to 2 weeks for the course?
Before I did 1 week. Perhaps next year I will do 1 week again. But it's because in France, the school finished after the first week. So many people who worked in the school said to me, we can't come to Meze this year, because the first week we worked again. So I said, now let's try 2 weeks. To open it a bit more, but I don't know. By 2 weeks, meet more money to pay the rent of the dojo, the house, and perhaps for some people it's difficult. So before the end of the week, I will speak to you, to the other guys, say, what do you think? 1 week, 2 weeks, what do you prefer? And depends the answer. And perhaps next year I will do just 1 week, I don't know. But until now, 2 weeks seems to me very good. And it's a good effort, because in the year people practice 1, 2, 3 hours a week. When they come to Meze, they have to do 1, 2, 3, 4 hours a day. So it's not exactly the same. For the body, it's a big challenge. That's for that, I try to do that.
How did you see yourself within the Aikido establishment when you started out, and how do you feel your position now?
It's very difficult. In Aikido, you know, you can't go over the chief. The chief will be always the chief. When I start, I was a young sportsman like you, but there were few people on the mat. I remember the first seminar with Yamaguchi, we were just 20 people. The last seminar Yamaguchi made in France, 300, 400 people were on the mat. So when you are Japanese, or when you are Mr. Tissier, or the other big one, many people go to the seminars. For us, the second, the third generation, not the top of the grade, it's much more difficult, because many people get the same grade. And I was on the mat, on the same mat as Christian Tissier for years. So everybody saw me like a student, not like a teacher. So the people with whom I practiced years ago do not want to come with me, because they said, we practice with Philippe, why we have to come with him? For example, a good example is Cyril. For years, he did not come to Meze. He came the first years. For years, he did not come. This year, he come back. Perhaps something changed in his mind. I don't know. Voilà. For me, the students are free. They come, they don't come. It's not my business. When they are here, I have to give to them my best, like you. But they can't stay where they want. If they want to do another seminar, they are right. That's very important for me. On the situation, the political situation, or the technical situation will never change. The chief will be always the chief for years. For example, when you take a football team, the trainer changes every 4 years. But in Aikido, Christian Tissier is here since 30, 40 years. Doshu is always Doshu since 50 years. Nobody will take his place. Unfortunately, or fortunately, that's like that. We have to accept the situation. The chief stays the chief. And if you want to be the chief, you have to go out of the group and to build another group to be the chief. But more we build group, more it will be smaller group. That's the problem.
Kind of internationally, how do you kind of see yourself? Because you're not just France, you're also with us in Ireland, you're with people in Germany.
I don't know if many people knows me. The guy who knows me, who likes me, are the people with whom I practice. Like the Irish in Dublin, for example, from Cork, nobody comes. Because for the people from the small city, not the big city or the capital, the main city, to go outside is very difficult. So if you watch very well, people who come from outside of their country come from big cities. Or you are very close to the teacher, but if you are not close to the teacher, it's because you live in a city where people move. But if you live in a small country, you'll never quit it, because it's very difficult to understand, to move. It's an education. For example, Karol quit Poland to go to Ireland. So he made already a travel. Now to go from Ireland to France, it's not so difficult. But people who live in Cork, we never went outside of Cork. To go to Dublin is already difficult. But from Dublin to Europe, it's incredible travel for people. If the chief does not come, the student do not come. That's a problem. But for that, internationally, I am not very well known. In Japan, they know me because I go to Japan every year. But outside, I am not sure that nobody knows me.
Why do you go to Japan every year? Why do you still make this trip? And do you think for young Aikido, it's essential?
Between now and when I went the first time in Japan, it's not the same Japan. Right? It's the same language. Not always the same words. It's the same dojo, but it's not the same guys on the mat. When I arrived, all the teachers were students from Osensei. They meet him. Now all the teachers who are in Ombu Dojo know Osensei just with movies and photo and remember. But they did not practice with him physically. So it's another world. And when I arrived in Japan, I was young. I was not very good in Aikido, so everybody impressed me. Now, when I am on the mat, all the teachers who teach on the mat are younger than me. I saw them arriving in the Aikikai. So they don't come to me to show me what I have to do. It's different. Sometimes I could show them what they have to do, but they never want to ask me. But they know exactly who I am. They know me since 40 years. They know exactly. They heard about me. When I come every year, they know. And I come back because Japan built my Aikido. So by respect, I will going on many times to Japan until my body will say stop. But when my body, my mind says, Philippe, you can go, I will try to go again. Voilà, just for that. But now I said to Zhiyun, you have to go to Japan almost one time, just one time, to know, to have no regret. If you never go to Japan, perhaps in your mind you can say, if I had made this trip, perhaps my life could be changed, could be different. I don't know. I have nothing to say to the student. But if they ask me, do I have to go to Japan? The answer is yes, go. Go. Voilà, to smell Japan, to hear Japan, to move Japan. The Aikido is the same in Europe now. We do the same Aikido, there is no difference. But it is in another atmosphere, another dojo, other people, other contact, improved intelligence, that I said in the first.
There are a lot of up-and-coming teachers with a big online presence, with videos and articles and all this. Do you think that they kind of represent Aikido as it is today, or are they the
video, it's now a way to move, to show what you do. Me, I don't want to do video, because I don't need to do it. If I do a video, nobody from Argentina, from America will say to me, Philippe, oh, we saw you in America in a video, yeah, come to me. I don't believe in that. For me, Aikido is just a question of meeting. You know, I went for years in Japan. I know so many people from all over the world. Nobody wants me, because perhaps I have a way to practice completely different. I never teach the technique, for example. You never hear me to do Shionaye, you have to do that. I just try to explain how your body moves when you do this technique. When you do this movement, you have to do that with your body. Your body moves like that. The only things which is equal for everybody is the way to move. I don't think like an Irish, like a Polish man or an American. But when you eat, you do that. You don't take stupid position. And in Aikido, people are afraid, they don't watch, because when you strike on the edge, you don't want to touch. I try to do the most real Aikido I can do. That means when I do a technique, I must be clear here, and I have to translate with my hands that I think, what I think. I can't say I give you a punch and I don't touch you. For me, it's how to build the body of the partner. So no pain, you have not to destroy the partner, you have not to. So when you do a video, you do that with a friend or a stuntman who can do a beautiful ukemi. But you made a exhibition before, you trained before with him. It's not, you meet somebody, let's go, let's move together. Me, I want to do that. I meet somebody, I never saw him before, and I have to do the best thing, but I have not to practice just with friends. That's Aikido for me. Everybody moves on the same way. The big, the black, the Chinese, the American, the French, everybody moves. It's just a problem of brain. I can't do that, I don't want to practice with you, you are too big, you are too small, it's a girl, you're too old. There is always a problem to say no. Me, on the mat, I want to take off the no. Not always say yes, but I want to take off the no. Do you want to no, I'll come back again. Well, that's the point.
Your relationship with the Aikikai you mentioned, so have you seen that change at all in the since you became Shihan?
Sometimes, a little bit. Some teacher says, when I am on the mat, when they take me in the middle, says, Philippe is a good senpai. They don't say Shihan. Senpai means old brother. Well, but I don't see no change. No. Well, when people says to me, is your life changing after you receive the title of Shihan? I say, yes, change. I clean the house, I go to buy something, nothing change. In the street in France, nobody knows what a Shihan means. Well, no, it's just for me it's a good thing, but I don't care. No, nothing changed. Nothing changed. Just I am older than before. Just question of that.
Okay. There's a perception online in articles and videos and what people are saying that Aikido is kind of run by the older generation, that it's not moving with the times and that sort of thing. How do people make space for new instructors? How do they allow them to develop, and how do they let them take over in the future?
Exactly. That's the point of Aikido. That's the point for all the artistic side of the life. How can you say to the man who do picture to name, how can you say to him, stop it, you are not good? People stop when nobody comes back to see them again. The problem is that they are old people. And in Aikido, you want to train. And one day your body says, no, you can't do no more ukemi. You are tired. So you decide to teach because you want to stay on the mat. And more we are older, more we get teachers. Also on the mat, when you are with a partner, it's very strange. He is not good in Aikido, but you give him the keys to do the best technique. In his other sport, you don't say to your opponent, hey, you have to do that if you want to beat me. But in Aikido, you give an advice. That for that, on the mat, I said always the same thing. Don't speak never to your partner. Don't say nothing. What you said is just good for you, but perhaps not good for him. But let him do what he wants. He wants to do Shionage like that, accept. Don't say to him it's wrong, because you said no. Try to take out the no. Move better, and perhaps his stupid Aikido will become good, and he will stay with you. But if you say, no, you are stupid, he will quit, find another teacher, or build his own group. How can you say, for example, in Dublin, you go in a dojo, and you see a teacher who is not doing right Shionage. How can you tell him, stop Aikido? It's not. Everybody will stay with him, because people are nice, they go to the rings, they say, that's the problem of Aikido. Aikido is the only sport where you are professional, or people who start the sport. In which sport you can play with Federer in tennis? I never played tennis, but I want to play with you, sir. What is your level? But in Aikido, we accept everybody. People are a little bit stupid, completely outside of the life. That's the good side of Aikido. That's also the bad side of Aikido, because you never know exactly who you are. You practice with a guy, he's not good. If you punch him down, if you break his arm, are you doing Aikido? You are the answer. And I say that anytime, many times, in the street. The guy who attacks you in the street, who is he? Advanced people in Aikido or beginners? I don't know. But he is very good in the way to attack me, and I am beginner in his way. So it's two advanced people who attacks two beginners. The one who is going to win is the less beginner. The guy will, but it's impossible. That for that, when you do Shionage big ukemi, it's because the guy knows, or he's a young guy, a stuntman. But now takes a guy in the street and try to do to him Shionage. He will close his arm, and yes, you have to say to him, no, be relaxed, be relaxed. Well, how can you be relaxed when you are going to fall down? That's the problem of Aikido. Okay, and we have always this question. Many people ask me this question. In the street, if somebody attacks you, what are you doing? And I say, unfortunately, nobody will attack me. I would like, but it's now 60 years I live on Earth. Nobody is coming to me, do you want to fight? Nobody. Because I don't know in the place where you have to fight. And if I go in place where I have to fight, I have no chance, because it's not my place. They don't come to the mat. I don't go to their place. The problem is when, by hazard, we meet us in a different place, not in their place, not in mine, but well, if you are intelligent, you let them go, they do what they want, even it's boring a little bit, but I am too old to fight in the street. You perhaps, young, strong, perhaps, but we don't know the result. On the mat, we know, for example, you take Etsuko song, smaller like that, with a Michael on the hand like that, who is going to win? They've got the same grade. But We know the result. She has no chance. Oh, well, but we are doing Aikido. That's always a stupid question when people say in Aikido we have to practice without strength, without power. But you know a sport, a movement that you do without power, without strength. You need muscle, but you need muscle which moves, not muscle which block you. It's just that. So I do Aikido, we do Aikido to stay alive, to move until I don't know, but until. Voilà.
People kind of say that Aikido will be losing ground to MMA and other martial arts. Maybe it's because we're not practical enough. Maybe it's because we're not competitive enough or whatever. How do you think we need to address that and respond to that? And is there anything we can do to change that perception?
For me, in Aikido, there is competition. When I train with you, I want to show you my technique. But you want to show me how you can resist, and after, how can you do your technique. Donc it's a small, accepting competition. If I refuse to do something, in 2 minutes, you are going to refuse too. So the way is to refuse without stopping you moving. I accept everything. But I try to make resistance, to improve my resistance, to improve the capacity I have to control my body. But sometimes it's impossible. And we have to practice for 1 hour. So if after 10 minutes, is it fair, I said to you, stop for 2 minutes. And you said to me, no, I want to fight again. I am not tired. In another sport, you can't stop. If you are tired, you go outside of the field. But in Aikido, you can say, I go to sit a little bit. So, is it a sport? Is it a way to practice? Is it a way to understand, to discover what you are, what really you are? I don't know. But for me, I do Aikido to stay alive. If I am tired, I try to move slowly, but I try not to punish you, because I can't tell you, I stop, keep going on. No, I will try to go with you slowly. You are going to make me moving. That's very difficult. For that, there is no answer. But I tell you something, if it's a young guy who is going to teach on the mat, there are just young guys too. I never saw a teacher of 20 years old with student of 80 years old. Because you can't, when you are 20 years old, you can't say, I can go with this young guy. I don't understand, he's not going to understand my life. So on the youths, it's very difficult for them to have the place. Because all the dojo now are occupied by a teacher of Aikido. So they must wait for that the old people are going to die. There is no other way. Die means not doing Aikido anymore. Well, me, now in France, perhaps next year, in 2 years, I will ask people like Michael O'Donovan, Giancarlo from Italy, Daniel Schulz, to do one class for me, because perhaps I can't do anymore. So to give them the opportunity to make their own experience. Well, I think of that now. I can't do 2 weeks now like that. Perhaps next year I will do 1 week and the other weeks. We'll see, to keep going on the way. Well, because one day I won't be there. So the Aikido I like perhaps will continue, will go on. But I'm not sure, I don't know. For example, I remember Yamaguchi, when he was in Longbu Dojo, everybody wanted to do what he did, his own way to practice. Now he's dead, nobody practices like him, because the body, the way to practice changed. It's like in football or in rugby, we don't play rugby like 50 years ago. It's the same rules, but people run faster, it's bigger, it's another rugby. It's always rugby, but it's not the same rugby. Aikido is the same thing. Before, Japanese were like that. Now they are bigger, so it's another way. Before they never went outside of Japan. Now all the Japanese go to outside in Europe, in America, in Africa. It's a new world. Voilà. No, as there are many teachers, less place for the young and less place for the other people. So we have to accept that. But it's like, for example, it's a pizzeria. In each city, there are 10, 20, 100 pizzeria. If you are good, people will go, is going to eat to you. If you are good in Aikido, people will come.
What do you see as the future for Meze?
The future of Meze are the students. not me. I am the past. The past means that I'm old. Perhaps in 5 years, 10 years, I can't keep going on to go to Meze. So I start to think that perhaps the high-level rank people like Michael O'Donovan, Giancarlo Pensabene, Farid, many people who are now 4th, 5th, 6th Dan, could take my class with another way to teach. If they want to do the same thing as me, they will lose. They have to, with the technique, the way I try to give them, they have to build their own practice, not my practice, their own practice to feel them free. Because if any time when they teach, they think, Philippe did another way, but everybody is different. So people, for me, what is very important, they have to do what they feel. And we have to say that today is like that, but in 10 years it will be better. But I am 7th Dan, 60 years old. How can a guy from 40 years old can do the same thing as me? It makes experience. But when he gets the same experience as me, I hope this young student will be better teacher than me. That's the only thing I want. The young teacher from today must be, when they are 60 years old, much better than me. They must be much better than me. That's just for that.
Do you have any advice for anybody who would be a beginner today starting in Aikido? What would you say to them?
I say Aikido is not a pleasure at the beginning, because you have to go down. You must have pain in the wrist. When you roll down, when you make ukemi, it's not so easy. Choose a teacher in which you believe. Okay, it's not obligatory the one. Try many dojos and go to the teacher in which you say, with him, I feel me good. And perhaps in 10 years we will change. Okay? It's like in our life. When we birth, when we grow up, we have 2 examples, mother, father. And after 6 years, when we go to school, another example. And when we are grown up, friends, educator, teacher, trainer in football, in 10, and people say, that's my father. I don't know. We take something from everybody. So in Aikido, it's the same thing. We have one teacher for the first time, but after, I have many teachers, but I never forget the first class of my life. Like everybody, the first time we remember. The second time, it's a little bit more difficult. But everybody came for the first time Meze, they remember it. I remember the first Meze. We were just 20, few people. But everybody were young. It was a completely different Aikido as today. Voilà. And people who start with me now, or they are dead, or they don't do practice anymore. Because 60 years old, when you are a student, it's difficult. It's very difficult. Voilà. Thank you very much.
Voilà. Thank you. Thanks a million.
Thank you very much.